Sterling for New Zealand. Dummy half is Eade. This is Cole feeding Gailey, running strongly Gailey to Johnson. O'Sullivan. Brereton has it. Dummy half O'Sullivan for New Zealand. Over halfway. Dummy half now is Great Britain hooker Gray. To Clawson. It's Norton to Nichols. Midway 25 and midway halfway and quarter line Ashcroft. This is Gray with the kick. Picked up by Bevan. Well held by Collicoat. Dixon. And 4 tackles on Great Britain. Number 15, the new man in the Great Britain scrum, is Kevin Ashcroft. Put him by Sterling. It's been won by Gray for Great Britain, and Nash has it for the tourists. This is Nichols. They're letting him run. 10 metres inside the New Zealand quarter line. Ashcroft at dummy half. To Nash. Hesketh. Hesketh still going. Gives it to Gill. Bad defence by New Zealand and a good try for Great Britain, scored by Ken Gill. Waiting is Nichols for Great Britain. Coming half Ashcroft to Clawson. Looking for Dixon. Dixon certainly not happy with the way Greengrass tackled him. And a penalty against Greengrass being called out by Mr. Furswell. Kick taken by John Gray, not finding touch. Collicoat. Still going, over halfway Collicoat. Fine run by Warren Collicoat, 10 metres inside the Great Britain half. Dummy half Burgoyne to Sterling. Dennis Williams. Dummy half is Ken Sterling to Gailey. Johnson with the ball for New Zealand. Sterling to Williams. Waiting is Charlton. He lost it behind him, Charlton, a dive. The try scored by Ken Sterling for New Zealand. There he is, the New Zealand captain, Ken Sterling. The reward for very good following up. Charlton lost the ball in the tackle, and Sterling did the rest. Players a metre outside the Great Britain quarter line. Sterling to Brereton to Williams, and Williams was standing offside as Brereton threw the pass to him. Gill with a tap. Nichols. Into dummy half is Gray. The player's almost down to a walk with only, in fact, time is up on the clock as Ashcroft takes it out from dummy half. Gets it to Nichols. 3 tackles on Great Britain, midway, quarter line and halfway, New Zealand half. Clausen gets it away to Nash, looks for Dill. Picked up by Kerrigan for New Zealand, 10 metres outside his own quarter line. Johnson runs with the ball for New Zealand. Kerrigan to Robertson. And Robertson lost the ball forward. 4 metres inside the New Zealand half. It's 13 points to 5. New Zealand leading. They led 9-5 at half-time. Had 2 goals kicked by Collicote in the second half. The hooter has gone for full time. Mr. Percival wants the ball to go into the scrum. Sterling puts it in. Comes out to Great Britain. Gill. The chase is on. A chance for Great Britain. Bevan and Brereton. The dive from Bevan. And a try. He has asked the line umpire, and the try has been awarded to Great Britain. Here's the replay. The kick ahead by Gill. Bevan and Brereton race for the ball. Brereton gets his boot to it, mistimes the kick, and Bevan just beats it before it goes over the dead ball line. Mr. Percival right on the spot. And there's John Bevan. Scored a couple of tries for Great Britain against the North Island country last Wednesday, and has at least scored a try for Great Britain this afternoon. They've scored 2 tries to 1. Time is up on the clock. It's 13 points to 8. Metres inside the Great Britain half. Sterling, the New Zealand skipper, to Gailey. Well held by Thompson. That's 3 tackles on the Kiwis. Greengrass to Eade. Robertson. Unable to do anything constructive with the ball in the 4 tackles, and the scrum to be set midway, halfway and quarter line. Another scrum to John Gray. Nichols standing off to Hesketh. Nichols doubling. Dill, challenged by Johnson. Gets rid of him, no trouble at all. Finally held by Brereton. Nash to Clausen. Oh, shoved Robertson out of the way that time, did Clausen. Nash to Thompson. Chisnell. Dixon. Couldn't get the pass away. 3 tackles on Great Britain. Willicum to Chisnell. Nichols. This is Dill. Plenty of speed. It's got support from Bevan. What's the decision? The try has been awarded. The try to John Bevan.
Well, that was a result of a long ball thrown from midfield by Chisnell to Nichols. Nichols transferred it to Dill, and Dill's exceptional acceleration pulled him clear of the defence and drew Collicote before sending Bevan in the corner for another first-class try. And there's no doubt about it now, the Great Britain side are really starting to click.
Nash again, a dummy half for Great Britain. To Clausen. 3 tackles on Great Britain. Nash to Gray. Testing Collicote again. Had to let it bounce. Hesketh. Dill almost had it that time, but Brereton has it for New Zealand. O'Sullivan. No support for John O'Sullivan. Robertson, a dummy half. Powerful fend that time from Robertson. 3 tackles on the Kiwis. Dummy half is Eade. To Williams. Waiting is Charlton. 3 metres inside his own half. Paul Charlton. Held by Greengrass. Hesketh. To Nash. Room to move, Steve Nash. Held by Gailey. Thompson to Nichols. This is Hesketh. Got a big collar coat. Fine try from Chris Hesketh.
Well, that was a wonderful try by Chris Hesketh, a great captain's try, a try which is possibly very, very important in a first half that has had its excitements from both sides. I think the features of this game have been the outstanding play of Collicott at full-back and Greengrass with 2 excellent cover tackles, and both sides have gone very near to scoring, and it really needed a brilliant individual effort there from the British captain to streak some 30 metres for an excellent try in the corner.
So Alan Bates on as a replacement for the second time in 2 test matches. And little Steve Nash now back at fullback for Great Britain, and Ken Sterling to feed the scrum for the Kiwis. Won by Hibbs to Williams. Johnson. Eade at dummy half to Mann. Has support from Robertson. Hibbs to Sterling. Gailey. Oh, bad pass from Gailey. This is Dill. They won't stop Les Dill.
Well, that really was a turn-up for the book. New Zealand doing a lot of pressing, and Gailey passed the ball, and Dill intercepted and streaked away some 3/4 of the length of the field for a wonderful opportunist try, and a try I feel could now break the backs of the New Zealand players, because it's come at a very crucial point in the second half, and the conversion, no doubt, to be converted by John Gray will put them in possibly an unassailable position.
27 minutes gone in the second half. Only 13 minutes to go in the game, and Great Britain ahead by 15 points to 0. Dennis Williams makes a Laramie by going into standoff half. Penalty again against Great Britain in the scrum, and the Kiwis have certainly had a ton of penalties in the last 10 minutes. Ken Sterling with the tap kick to Williams. Eade to Sterling, picked up by Gurnick. 10 metres out from the Great Britain line. Sterling to Gailey. Jarvis. Couldn't find Wayne Robertson that time, and Great Britain have possession. Hesketh. In a sea of mud just inside the Great Britain quarter line. Bates. Gray. A big kick by John Gray. Collicoat. Good strong run by Warren Collicoat. Play now midway, halfway in quarter line. Hibbs to Gailey. Jarvis. Interception by Bevan.
Well, here we are again, a bad pass by Jarvis. The ball moved out to Jarvis now with the ball. Throw a long pass which is intercepted between Brereton by Bevan, who streaked away again for another 50-60 metre try. A feature of this game has been the careless passing of the New Zealand team in situations where they possibly shouldn't have. They've shown a lot of effort and guile, but at the last moment these crucial passes have let them down, and these 2 interception tries in the second half, there's no doubt about it, has put the seal on a victory in this third and final test to Great Britain.
Stevens feeds the scrum for Great Britain. What's he ruling? Penalty New Zealand. Penalty New Zealand. So they'll have first opportunity to put points on the board. Olsen Filipina trotting in from the centres, and he's the man who's going to kick for goal. Filipina is the man who scored all the New Zealand points at Christchurch.
Yes, well, Kevin Steele had no hesitation. The ball, there appeared to be no tunnel, and that's what he penalised Britain for. Interestingly enough, in the first test, Britain did not strike in their own quarter for the ball in the scrums.
So Olsen Filipina, who kicked a conversion and a penalty at Christchurch, didn't take any kicks in the first test here. He also scored a try at Christchurch last Sunday as well. Can he open the scoring for the Kiwis? Oh, bad attempt by Filipina. But the ball is loose and New Zealand's got it. Fred Akoi picks it up. Good follow-up play by the Kiwi captain to Atkins. Barry Atkins in his first test, just a few metres short of the line. Oh, the Carlaw Park crowd is excited at this. Kevin Tamati onto Akoi. Gives it to Filipina. Filipina to Lulawai. There's Kevin Fisher. Can he find the line? Kevin Fisher's over. Oh, what a great start for New Zealand. Magnificent stuff.
Great try by New Zealand, as you said, Peter, and what a morale booster for the side and for Kevin Fisher.
Yes, Kevin Fisher in his first test match of this series. Now watch it again. The ball goes out through Kevin Tamati, number 12, onto Kevin Tamati, now to Filipina. Now Filipina gets the pass to Lulawai, who's taken in the tackle, but Fisher was there on hand, and see the way he broke back in field. The man, number 8, Trevor Skerritt, left sprawling on the ground for Great Britain as Kevin Fisher from Waikato, who hasn't played a test match for the Kiwis since 1977. Puts New Zealand on the board. It's 3-0. Here's Filipina's kick. Another bad attempt from him. So, 5 minutes gone in the third test. New Zealand 3, Great Britain 0.
This kicking, or lack of goal kicking by New Zealand, could be a problem. I hope not. It is to be hoped they score enough tries. Fine try by Fisher. What impressed me most in the build-up to that try was the lead-up play by the forwards, and Barry Atkins was looking very good.
That's the quarter line you see in the background. Howie Tamati will play the ball back to his cousin Kevin Tamati. Kevin Tamati also running from dummy half. Useful yardage made by the Kiwis with these little runs from dummy. Now they play the short side and Broadhurst has got it. Now the Kiwis still looking good. That's Mark Graham. What a crashing run from Mark Graham to Akoi. Akoi to Filipina. Can he find Hudson? Hudson finds O'Hara. What magnificent stuff for the Kiwis. They've scored 2 tries in 2 minutes. Dane O'Hara. Oh, 6-0.
Once again, and what pleasing football. Both tries have come from the Kiwi wingers.
Here we go again. That run from Tony Collin there. Cole got the ball to Bali, and then it was Mark Graham who crashed off a tackle on the halfway line. A break from Akoi, then to Filipina. Then Filipina found Hudson, and the pace from the Canterbury man was enough to put Dane O'Hara in the clear.
Wonderful team play by the Kiwis, but again, the most pleasing aspect was the sharpness in the forwards, and featuring in that, initially in that movement, was Mark Graham, crashing up the middle, then the ball going across the full Kiwi three-quarter line, and once again, a winger scoring. So we've seen both wingers score in the opening minutes of this match, and what a pleasing sight it is.
Now here's Olsen Filipina. Can he add the extra 2 points this time? Oh, just away to the left, just away to the left. So, 7 minutes gone in the third test. New Zealand 2 tries, 6 points, lead Great Britain 0. 4 Kiwi defenders there to wrap up the Great Britain hooker.
1 or 2 of the New Zealand players looking very tired, and well they might be. They've slogged away very, very well in the second half, and none more so probably than Mark Graham, the loose forward. Some magnificent tackling here today, and thoroughly deserved his reselection back in the New Zealand side.
Scrum to New Zealand, that's a vital one. Filipina bursts over the quarter line, still going, Olsen Filipina. New Zealand have got 5 tackles left, and they're about 8 yards from the Great Britain goal line. Filipina goes himself, tries to find a way under. George Nichols, solid in defence. Back to Varley, dive pass away to Cole. Akoi, looking to go through was Luluai up from fullback. Howie Tamati, Barry Atkins to Mark Graham. Graham must score the try for New Zealand. He does. Mark Graham levels the scores. 28 minutes gone in the second half. It's 11 points all. Mark Graham, the New Zealand vice-captain, scores the try. Let's watch it again. Here comes Howie Tamati from dummy half. Gets it to Atkins, who timed his pass to perfection. And Mark Graham across for the try. Very handy to the post. Broadhurst.
He's toiled away well today, Broadhurst.
Joey Tamati, a dummy to Tony Cole. What an Iron Man this boy from the West Coast has been.
And this is interesting. New Zealand on fire at the moment.
Olsen Filipina again. The Carlaw Park crowd is alight. And well they might be. It's just a pity there weren't more people here to watch what could be a very fine victory for New Zealand Rugby League. Remember, they haven't been in Great Britain since 1974. They haven't won a test match for 2 years. And Akoi gives it to James Lillawai. And Lillawai scores a runaway try. Oh, great stuff.
And he's totally delighted, as are the crowd, and I might add the commentators. I don't think that's bias saying that. We've been looking for this sort of football right throughout the series from New Zealand, and today they're doing it. A great by Fred Akui, and he got the ball away to James Lillawai, and James Lillawai, who I've seen play as a 5-year-old, started with the Kapitowi club here in Auckland as a 5-year-old, now playing in Auckland for Mount Wellington. A magnificent try, and he's had a good match throughout too, Peter.
6 minutes gone in the first half. No score in the first test. There's Phil Hogan. Now coming down this left wing strongly is Eric Hughes. Hughes running strongly. Coming across is Dane O'Hara for the tackle. But number 4 is going to score the try. And that's Mike Smith. Smith. Little kick through for the swing. Yes, it's a Kiwi try. Scored by Dicky Ulawabi. Back to Wards. It's John Joyner. The in pass to Fairburn. Oh, so simple. So simple. George Fairburn scores under the posts. Great Britain 30. New Zealand 3, a couple of minutes to half-time. Stevens had a pretty impressive game for Great Britain today. Gary Stevens, their halfback. Play on the quarter line. Ward. Here's a chance for New Zealand. Fred Akoi scores the try. Oh, some woeful Kiwi tackling, and Phil Hogan is running towards the line. And a magnificent tackle from behind by Dane O'Hara. O'Hara got him. Adams, now Ward. Ward with a wide pass to Eric Hughes, and Hughes is over for the try.
Ken Sterling, Bob Jarvis, taken there by John Walsh and Ken Gill. Jarvis out to Dennis Williams. Steve Nash doing more tackling. Number 10 for New Zealand is Dane Sorensen, the big 19-year-old prop. Plays it back to Greengrass. Working through. Number 11 was George Nicol. This is Tommy Conroy. Williams with the heist to the high changer again. This is going to put pressure on Fairburn. That's a fine try by Dennis Williams for New Zealand, as he followed up, and the Englishmen were bemused, and they weren't able to work out just where the ball was going. Dennis Williams hoists the high ball. Now, watch Fairburn and the other Englishmen in their own in-goal area, in the goal zone, as John Greengrass moves up. And coming across now is Dennis Williams, and touches down for a try for New Zealand. Dane Sorensen for the conversion. It's 5-0 to New Zealand after 8 minutes of play. Murray. Dane Sorensen. Dennis Williams hoists a high changer. Puts more pressure on Atkinson and Fielding. That's a fine try by Tommy Conroy. Great following up. Dennis Williams moving over the quarter line, hoists another high ball, as he did so successfully against France, and we saw it earlier today. Confusion reigning for Atkinson and Bridges, and Tommy Conroy getting there to score the second try for New Zealand. Bridges. The West Coast second rower, Baxendale, flying in there. 1 over, 1 under. That's the tactics of the New Zealand defence. Chisnell not too happy about it either. There's the high ball. The reversal tactics of Dennis Williams. That's a fine try by the Englishman. Right under the posts. George Fairburn. The hoist there from George Nichols, right under the New Zealand post. Whitaker looked uncertain. Bridges moving out of the way for Fairburn to score.
Had enough ball to score 20 tries. Had enough ball to score.
Fullback now attempting to convert the try. Successfully converted. It's 10 points to 7 with 5 minutes to go. Steve Nash. Ken Sterling, his opposing scrum half, just finishing off the tackling arrangements. Steve Norton out to John Walsh. There's some great passing by the English. It's a great move by Dill. Atkinson going for the line. A great try. Moving across, Walsh moved right out, and we could see Les Dill. We've been waiting all afternoon to see the brilliance of this English player as he moves back inside, and Atkinson puts on the speed as he goes over the quarter line, and Orchard, in a valiant attempt but a vain one, was too late, and Atkinson touches down. Free kick to be taken by Dennis Williams on the halfway line. Not going to find touch. Fairburn and Atkinson. A bad error by both of the English wing and English fullback, both running in together. So that certainly turned out to New Zealand's advantage. It's a free kick to New Zealand. Penalty kick then to be taken by Dane Sorensen. That's a fine kick by the 19-year-old Aucklander. The scores are tied at 12-all with 20 minutes to go. Sterling, in goes the ball. He's got possession. Like a twisting, turning salmon, he makes a difficult target to tackle. Here's Williams. Whitaker chimes into the line. Murray Eade. Tony Cole, second rower from the coast. And there's his teammate Baxendale. Dennis Williams, the high changer. Fairburn and Atkinson again. Orchard out to Williams. And Fairburn has missed it. What a great effort. Dennis Williams. Again hoisting the high changer that we've seen so successful this afternoon, puts the pressure on John Atkinson, the winger, number 5, and George Fairburn, the fullback. Again, they weren't quite sure what they were doing. And there, Orchard pushes it out to Dennis Williams, who hoists his left arm with exultation as he goes over to score a great try. Dennis Williams' second try today. Sorensen attempting to convert. New Zealand have the 5-point advantage. It's 17-12 after the tension of the last 10 minutes when it's been tied at 12-all. Securely taken by Bob Jarvis and John O'Sullivan. The burst by Cookson for England. An error by the England side, tidied up by Fielding, with Fairburn coming in and hoisting high on the 5th tackle. Whittaker to take it and misses it. Nash. That's a great try by England. We can see that the England side hoists the ball high by Fairburn. Whittaker comes in to take it, uncertain. Nash moves across. Moving out there is Dill. As he goes across for a great try.
Dennis, what about rallying your fellas?
Well, New Zealand lead by 2 points. George Fairburn, it would be a long time since he's had such an important kick as this. Because if he gets it, he'll close the 2-point advantage that the Kiwis hold over the England side. That's a fine effort by George Fairburn. 7 points to go, 7 minutes to go, and it's 17-all.